we are here. A very promising step of the way, but no way a guarantee with all the uncertainty going on, but a fun step to be at nonetheless at the end of the first day of full practice training camp. And honestly, it felt like the first day of camp. It felt like a regular first day of camp for all the good reasons and all the bad reasons. But we're going to break down what happened at day one of Browns training camp. Also, we're going to talk about some injuries. Also, we're going to talk about JC Tretter's knee surgery that he just had out the blue. And the Browns might be making a veteran signing at right guard. Let's talk about it. Real quick, before I get into all of these wonderful subjects that we have lined up today, I want to make sure and to remind everybody to be subscribed and notified. You're going to want to make sure that you have the notification bell on so you can be notified when I drop all of this NFL training camp content. I got so much lined up for you guys, collaborations with all these AFC North YouTubers. We're going to talk about all the camps. We're going to have the most in-depth AFC North training camp coverage on this channel. So make sure you're subscribed and click that notification bell so you can make sure you are first to all of the great coverage that's going to be going on this channel. But without further ado, let's talk about the first topic of today, and that's going to be JC Tretter just had knee surgery, and this came out of nowhere. I mean, like a week ago, he was participating with practices. He wasn't really missing anything, and then all of a sudden, he's getting a knee scope. Now, the reports are conflicting. Some people are saying 2 weeks, he's not going to miss any game time. Some people are saying it could linger into the season, 2-3 weeks into the season. So the reports have varied a lot. So I'm not sure where that's going to end up with JC Tretter. But it's not great news on one standpoint because the Browns only have so many practices to kind of get chemistry with this offensive line that has a lot of new pieces. And JC not being there for even 2 weeks is going to be the bulk of all of the padded practices, so that's going to be an issue. Also, you would like Baker Mayfield to get used to having his kind of all-star center there so he can get used to having time and used to being able to have a clean pocket. With Nick Harris there, it's just not that guarantee that you have with the JC Tretter, so I am worried about it from that front as well. This surgery that came out of nowhere is nowhere near nothing. It's definitely something. How much of a something, that remains to be seen. If he misses game time, that's going to be huge. Again, you play Baltimore and Cincinnati to start the season within like 10 days because it's a Sunday game and a Thursday game. So even if he would miss only 1 week in regular time, that's going to mean 2 weeks for the Browns schedule this year unless they move Thursday night games to Saturday, which might happen. So that's a big deal for the Cleveland Browns, and that is a little bit concerning. Now, I'll say this. They are in position to take a punch at that kind of an area. You know, that's why they have a guy like Chris Hubbard who can play that position. That's why you drafted somebody like Nick Harris. You have guys at that position that can fill in and be all right during camp and be all right for a game or two if you need them. Definitely not season-long solutions, but you at least have a pretty good stopgap there. It's not like Myles Garrett getting injured where it just kind of tanks the entire unit. So that's at least a good thing there. Now, the Browns are also looking to bring in Ronald Leary, a veteran offensive guard. I think he played in Denver last. That's where he had the bulk of his career. And this would be a good signing by the Browns because this is a veteran who can start, probably better than Wyatt Teller, who didn't show a lot last year. And maybe you want to keep Chris Hubbard there as a depth piece and not put him at right guard. So I could see this signing actually making a ton of sense for the Cleveland Browns if they can get it done. Also, Myles Garrett missed today's practice with a hamstring injury. I don't anticipate that becoming a larger thing. I think it's just kind of a let's be safe with Myles kind of thing, especially when there's no pads and no real reason for him to be out there because what do defensive linemen really do when there's no pads in practices during 7-on-7s. So all the injury stuff out the way, let's talk about what happened in day one of training camp and some of the things that we found out. Now, there were some nice highlights. Apparently, there was a nice 60-yard touchdown Jarvis Landry and Baker Mayfield connected with. That's significant because Jarvis Landry, coming off that hip surgery, it's nice to know he still looks like himself after that and that Baker Mayfield's able to connect with him. But we know that chemistry is relatively good, pretty solid. The chemistry that I'm waiting to click is is the Odell Baker chemistry, because that's going to be really important. We're going to see how that goes. Not a lot with Baker today. He was kind of up and down. Didn't really see him hit his tight ends a ton. You know, it wasn't that kind of a practice, though, to be fair. It was kind of your basic throw the halfback screen, kind of just get set, get used to moving a little bit with some live action day. So hard to really evaluate Baker Mayfield. He looked a lot better. He looked a lot smoother, looked a lot faster than he did last year. So that's a good sign. We'll see if the play catches up with how he looks. Some depth chart things I noticed while I was watching the stream of practice today was that Jacob Phillips ran with the twos consistently. The starters at linebacker seem to be B.J. Goodson and Mac Wilson. I think that's the two linebacker set they're going to use the most. And then Sione Takitaki will play outside sometimes. Also, a little bit of a surprise here. Grant Delpit was working with the twos a lot. He did work in with the ones every once in a while. I guess he's in kind of a competition with Andrew Sadejo. Sadejo, he was the one who actually got burnt on that 60-yard touchdown to Jarvis Landry. So we'll see if his days are numbered at that starting spot. Again, Sadejo, a good veteran safety. I don't think he's going to be good enough to start over Delpit at the end of camp, but we'll see what they want to do there. Also, Njoku was the number 2 tight end. It looks like they're going to go with Njoku and Hooper as their 1 and 2. We'll see how that goes. I have mixed feelings about that. I have my reservations about David Njoku as a number 2 tight end, but we'll see how it works. Kevin Stefanski sees something, and I'm excited to see what he sees and what we can see going forward. Some of the other things that I noticed during camp today was that Kareem Hunt, he looked very good. Now, again, no pads, no blocking, really. It's kind of hard to evaluate a running back, but what I can tell is the burst and the relative speed that Kareem Hunt was just moving at, and he was moving. Like, he didn't move this fast and this well last year. It looks like Kareem Hunt really has his sea legs under him. He looked like Kareem Hunt that led the league in rushing in Kansas City. He was that explosive. He was that fast. I mean, his burst was incredible. He looked like a really, really special running back, so much so that I don't know if it was just how fast Kareem Hunt was looking and how explosive Kareem Hunt was looking, but Nick Chubb kind of looked heavy today. He didn't look as fast or as quick as he did last year. He looked like he had added some pounds to his frame in order to kind of make up for the amount of touches he's going to get this year and kind of have that armor around him. But it definitely seemed like he was a little bit slower. Now, he might just be working himself back into football shape, and that might be the case. I hope that's the case, but he looked a tad bit slower, just a step slower, a step heavy than he did last year. That did concern me a little bit, but again, we'll see what this looks like with pads on. But before pads, as much as I can tell, boy, Kareem Hunt looked really, really explosive today. Just from like what you can see physically and then some of the one-on-ones, Odell looks good physically. He looks fully recovered from that core sports hernia surgery that he had in the offseason. And he looks physically bigger, but also he didn't seem any less fast or quick in any of the drills. So I'm really looking forward to what this is going to look like once pads get on, once they start to run real plays, once real football starts to get played. But Kareem Hunt and Odell Beckham, just physically and what you could tell by just seeing them run around, look like the superstars that they were 2 years ago, as opposed of the guys that were kind of working themselves back to that level last year. So that's really encouraging. Baker physically looks like he's ready. He was a little bit up and down, still looked a little rusty, wasn't as accurate as I would hope he's going to be. But again, first day of camp, I can't be too harsh about it, but I would like to see more out of Baker Mayfield going forward. Another side note that I have noticed over the last few weeks, and especially today in camp, Donovan Peoples-Jones is a physical specimen. He's very fast. He's very big, and he is very strong, and he looks a lot bigger and a lot stronger and a lot faster than he looked like at Michigan, which is not a surprise because that program under Jim Harbaugh, let's just be honest about the situation, not known for developing great NFL talent with the modes that they get at Michigan. He just hasn't done a great job there. And just looking at a Donovan Peoples-Jones, it's amazing this dude went in like the 6th round, because I'm not overstating this by any means. He looks like Josh Gordon sometimes, just physically. Like, he could be Josh Gordon's body double. He's the same size, same strength, Tall, very fast. He looks like Josh Gordon physically. We'll see if he plays like Josh Gordon. I'm not saying he plays like Josh Gordon, not at all. But he looks like Josh Gordon. And the Browns don't have a guy that has that kind of prototypical size and strength. And I really think there has to be a role for somebody with that body build on this offense. And if Donovan Peoples-Jones can be more consistent from a catching perspective and kind of play up to the level that people thought he was going to be coming out of high school, there is a real nice role that can be carved out for Donovan Peoples-Jones, almost to the detriment of somebody like Rashard Higgins. Now, we'll see what happens there. Rashard looked very good today. He ran some good routes. I think he just completely shook somebody early on in practice during a one-on-one. So he looked good. I'm not saying he's in trouble in any means, but Donovan Peoples-Jones, if you just look at that man physically, it is easy to get lost in just how good that dude could be. It's amazing, and it says a lot about the program that Jim Harbaugh's running there in Michigan, that guy that looks like Josh Gordon was drafted in the 6th round. How does that happen? But I digress. But that's my thoughts on the first day of camp. At the end of the day, it was the first day of camp, right? Not a ton of information, but no red flags. There were some good things that you saw. I think the Kareem Hunt and Odell Beckham looking like the superstars that they were 2 years ago, that's significant, and I hope to see that trend continue when they put pads on. They put pads on, I think, 2 days or a day from now, and that's going to be a lot more interesting to watch. But, again, good stuff. I'm worried about the injury to J.C. Tretter, but let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think J.C. Tretter will be ready by the start of the season, or do you think this is going to be a lingering thing that might cause some issues? And if you think that's the case, do you think Nick Harris is going to be ready to step up, the 5th-round pick out of Washington? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. But again, guys, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that notification bell so you can be notified. And again, guys, have a great day. Have a good night.